Theo Silverton's conduct towards his partner Todd Grimshaw has been becoming increasingly unsettling in Coronation Street, and the latest episode confirmed it's far from an isolated incident. Todd and Theo joined several locals at a Canal Street gathering, an event that left Todd surprised Theo even wanted to attend. Things quickly soured when Theo grew irritated after James Bailey playfully made advances towards Todd. Adding to the tension, Theo crossed paths with someone from his past who was intent on calling him out for old misdeeds. The atmosphere escalated immediately between Theo and this unknown man, with Theo turning hostile as he forced him out of the venue. It was then revealed to the audience that the man was Owen, Theo's former partner. Owen openly stated that Theo had treated him badly during their romance, explaining that his current boyfriend had helped him recognize how toxic the relationship had been. He reminded Theo that undergoing conversion therapy did not excuse cruelty, stressing that his actions were his own responsibility. Theo, however, flatly rejected the claims and shifted all the blame back onto Owen. The clash left Theo seething, and it was Todd who ultimately bore the brunt of his anger. Although Theo insisted that Owen and his partner were complete strangers trying to stir up trouble, Todd later stumbled across a photo of Theo and Owen together on his phone. Theo immediately lashed out, accusing Todd of being possessive and prying into his private messages, even though Todd argued the image had already been left open. Todd was stunned when Theo admitted Owen was his former lover, but twisted the situation to portray himself as the one wronged, branding Owen as manipulative and controlling. Theo then turned his frustrations on Todd, accusing him of leading James on, an allegation Todd denied, explaining that they had leaned in simply to hear one another above the loud music, something Theo would understand if he went out to clubs more often. Instead of accepting the explanation, Theo spun it further, announcing he would be heading out for a night on his own, despite Todd having planned a dinner for them both. The question now remains, will Todd recognize Theo's manipulative tactics, or is this only the beginning of something darker? Coronation Street viewers have voiced a strong demand over what they must see in Lisa and Becky Swain's ongoing storyline, after one of the soap's stars hinted at what lies ahead. Fans will know that Becky suddenly reappeared in Weatherfield last month, leaving audiences stunned. Her comeback left Lisa Swain completely floored, as the character, thought to have died almost 4 years earlier, turned up alive on the doorstep of No. 6 Coronation Street, the home Lisa now shares with fiancée Carla Connor. The shock was immense for the detective sergeant, who had long believed she'd lost her wife in the line of duty. To make matters even more dramatic, Becky's return coincided with the 18th birthday of their daughter, Betsy, meaning Lisa was confronted with her very much alive ex right in her new family home. As Lisa struggled to process whether this was reality or a cruel dream, Becky revealed she had been living under a different identity in Spain, placed in witness protection after an undercover job disastrously went wrong. Since that revelation, Lisa has been caught between raw emotions and unanswered questions, while secretly digging for the truth about what happened. She even pressed her superior, D.I. Costello, for answers. Becky has continued lingering around Weatherfield, much to Carla's annoyance, with the underworld boss recently losing patience and snapping at her, cruelly telling her to go back to being dead. Becky ignored the harsh remark and later returned to see Lisa again. However, when Betsy walked in, she was livid that her mother had allowed Becky inside, angrily demanding she leave after previously trying to act like a parent despite being absent for years. But Becky then handed over a bundle of birthday cards, explaining that during her time away, she had written one for every milestone Betsy had celebrated without her, pouring into each note the words she wished she could have spoken face to face. The gesture melted Betsy's anger, and she told her mom to stay, much to Carla's irritation when she arrived home to find a surprisingly cozy family scene unfolding. Since then, things have gone relatively quiet in the Connor Swain household, and viewers are left craving clarity about what lies ahead for Becky and Lisa's complicated lives. Coronation Street viewers believe they picked up on several touching details during Jenny Connor's departure from Weatherfield, moments that some may not have noticed. For many, her exit wasn't entirely shocking, as it came a decade after her return to the cobbles, and actress Sally Ann Matthews had already revealed her decision to leave back in August. On social media, Sally reflected, "I originally signed on for just 5 months, but ended up staying another 10 years because I adored it so much. But now it feels right to chase the roles I dreamed of taking on when I was younger. Thank you, Trafford Wharf Road, for the memories and all the laughter." Jenny, then known as Jenny Bradley, first appeared in the soap in 1986 when Sally was only 16 years old. She was introduced as the daughter of notorious villain Alan Bradley, and soon found a guardian in Rita Tanner, who at the time was still Rita Fairclough, while her father was away working. After 5 years on the program, Sally left to pursue other acting opportunities. She made a short return in 1993 before rejoining the cast in 2015 when Jenny's storyline reignited with a romance involving Kevin Webster. Although Jenny has been at the center of major plots over the last 10 years, it was her departure as landlady of the Rover's return that ultimately marked her farewell. In her closing moments, Jenny was exposed for lying after she let George Shuttleworth believe that Rita was on her deathbed following a fall earlier in the week, a story she spun out of jealousy over his growing bond with Christina Boyd. George, shocked by the deception, was left reeling, and Jenny later went to the funeral parlor to apologize. While there, she came across an order of service for a woman just a year older than her who had recently passed away. The discovery forced Jenny to reflect on her own future, and she later spoke of how much the Rovers meant to her, recalling how she had once looked up to Bet Lynch running the pub in her youth. "I remember watching her strut around like a queen in her own world, and I never thought that could be me," she admitted, "and yet one day I truly felt I belonged there. I even kept the nameplate. It's still tucked away under my bed." George then suggested she make a fresh start in Tenerife, but Jenny insisted she couldn't abandon Rita. Taking matters into his own hands, George spoke to Rita, who gave Jenny an envelope of money and firmly told her, "That's for a one-way flight. It's time you started loving yourself again, and I don't think you'll find that here. Who wants to live life just being grateful? If you stay, soon enough it'll be me needing the care. I've got friends here. I'll be fine." Jenny finally walked away from the Rovers for good, suitcase in hand, after sharing one last emotional conversation with a tearful Rita. But sharp-eyed Coronation Street fans noticed several poignant touches in her send-off. Soap expert Sharon Marshall even remarked, "There were echoes of Elsie Tanner in Jenny's exit tonight on ITV Corey. I'm not sure if it was intentional, but that pub has certainly produced its share of iconic redheads." Coronation Street continues on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1, with episodes also available on ITVX and YouTube.